What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Legitical Response. We cover political news, keep you up to date, and keep you informed on everything that the government does, because the government is constantly making moves, y'all. They do stuff behind the scenes all the time. The mainstream news isn't going to tell you the truth, so you got to go other places to get your news. So that's what we're here for. We're here to give you the facts and then give you our opinion on it, and then counter what the mainstream narrative machine tries to tell you. And they try to tell you all kinds of stuff. Like they're trying to get everybody scared that Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to try to oust Speaker Mike Johnson. Yeah, the news just went and took that one and ran with it. Like, oh no, here we go, y'all. Chaos in Congress once again. But no. We all saw that interview. Marjorie Taylor Greene was saying, no, this is a warning shot across the bow of Mike Johnson's ship, because he's screwing up, y'all. And he seems to be taking the rhino position instead of taking the conservative position. And he is just blowing it, outright blowing it. He gets this position of power. I guess it went to his head or something. He's like, oh, now that I'm in this position, I have to work with Democrats. Well, no, technically you don't have to work with Democrats when you're in the majority, because we all know the Democrats have gone off the cliff, y'all. They have just gone completely insane. They don't care about themselves anymore. They are no longer the party of the people. That is now the Republican Party, y'all. So if you're still a Democrat out there, you know, hey, we have our issues in the Republican Party. Hey, don't get that wrong. I'm not taking up for the Republican Party, but outside of Congress and outside of politicians, yeah, the Republican Party is now the party of the people, and it's no longer the Democratic Party. They've proven that over the past 8 years. That is a certainty. Let's get into the story right quick, because I got a twofer for y'all. Check it out. Greene says she won't take blame if Jeffries becomes Speaker. That's right. It won't be Marjorie Taylor Greene's fault. She's just doing what the Freedom Caucus said they were going to do. They're going to hold somebody to their word. Right? That's kind of a running joke. You know, holding a politician to their word. Ha! Right. Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene said Tuesday that it is not her fault if House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is promoted to the House's top role after she filed a motion to vacate Speaker Mike Johnson from the position last week. Greene pushed back on criticism that her motion against Johnson could result in Jeffries being elected Speaker due to the dwindling GOP majority in the lower chamber. She argued that Republican lawmakers have cut their terms short and left office are the true ones to blame, not her. It's just simple math. The more Republicans like Mike Gallagher that resign and leave early, guess what? That means we have less Republicans in the House, Greene said Tuesday on A Real America's Voice, a conservative cable channel. So every time a Mike Gallagher or a Kim Buck leaves early, that brings our numbers down and brings us dangerously close to being in the minority. It's not Marjorie Taylor Greene that is saying the inconvenient truth and forcing everyone to wake up and realize Republican voters are done with us doing this kind of crap that we did last week, she added. And what she's talking about there is that damn $1.2 trillion appropriations package that they passed that was full of BS that allows the Biden administration to spend in a $1.7 trillion deficit. Oh man, I get so mad when I start talking about this, because we have 34-point-something trillion dollar national debt. And these people are signing off on spending $1.7 trillion more than what they rake in every year in taxes. That means that over the fiscal year 2024, our national debt is going to go up another $1.7 trillion. That's going to guarantee almost $36 trillion by the end of fiscal 2024. That's almost a guarantee. Right? Sometimes they don't spend all that money because it goes other places, and sometimes it doesn't get spent. But when it's 1.7, almost $2 trillion, Yeah, you can almost guarantee the majority of that is going to get spent. And it just puts us in more debt, devalues the dollar, because now we have to print almost $2 trillion to make up for that. It's absolute BS. It's absolute insanity. The American family cannot do this. Nobody out there can spend more money than what they make. You know, like I say, you could yell credit cards, but credit cards, you have to pay that back. For some reason, the American government doesn't seem to have to pay back their debts for some freaking reason. But Marjorie Taylor Greene is totally right. She doesn't have some vendetta against Mike Johnson. No. This is just a reaction to his action. She is just promising to do what she said she would do if he did what he said he wouldn't do. And that's exactly what Mike Johnson done. Speaking of Mike Johnson, House Speaker Mike Johnson is committed to advancing Ukraine aid, but it will be a difficult task. Why is Mike Johnson committed to advancing Ukraine aid? Why are we paying for another nation's war? I've analyzed it and analyzed this so many times. I've brought up the analogy. It's like, to me, you see two people over here fighting, fist fighting, right? So you go over to one of them and you start helping them fist fight by saying, go, 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 go. You know, if they get knocked down, you pick them back up and say, hey, get back into the fight and keep going. Normal people don't do that. Only insane people do that. So why are we doing that? Especially when there's hundreds of thousands of soldiers and civilians getting killed all the damn time in war. I hate war. I'm totally against war. I am also anti-intervention. Almost absolutely. I don't think we need to intervene in these wars, just like the conflict in Israel. Israel is doing a damn job of isolating themselves from the world right now. I have a lot of criticisms for how they are operating their operation, their little war against Hamas. You know, I understand the need that, hey, they got attacked. It's kind of like 9/11, except they actually went after the people that attacked them. They didn't start a war in a totally different country for no apparent reason and lied to the American people. Talking about weapons of mass destruction. Kiss my ass. It's like we get attacked, you know, New York City, we get attacked by terrorists, and then a month and a half later or something like that, we're going to war with Iraq? What? That made no sense. But, you know, it just blows my mind. All these people are like, we got to stand up for Ukraine, y'all. And you got the mainstream narrative machine rooting this stuff on. And you got people like, yeah, we got to help Ukraine. We got to help Ukraine. But you know what helping Ukraine means? It means killing a bunch of soldiers, a bunch of Ukrainians. So the people you're trying to help, you're trying to help them get killed. Why would you want to help that? Why would you not want to send an ambassador over there to try to negotiate some sort of peace? We already know it was attempted, but no, these insane warmongering politicians that we have said, no, we're going to fight Russia to the bloody end. What do you mean we going to fight Russia? Right? The UK government, the United States government, France and all them, we're not at war with Russia. So what do you mean we? Yeah, that's what they said. We are going to fight Russia to the very end. No, it's Ukraine that's fighting Russia. It's not us. I mean, you could say that we are. Proxy. It just blows my mind that they sacked those negotiations. They could have brought an end to the war. I still think they should. They should try to bring an end to the war instead of trying to, you know, boot Putin out of Ukraine by force. That's going to end up with a lot of dead bodies, and it's possibly going to bring us to World War III, and nobody wants that. If you think that if we get into a hot conflict with Russia, that nukes aren't going to start flying, yeah, you're kind of crazy for that one. But this whole thing, let's get into the story, because I've ranted for long enough. House Speaker Mike Johnson has sat on a funding package that would send desperately needed ammunition and weaponry to Ukraine for over a month. He is mulling how best to gain a grasp of what is expected to be a difficult lift in the House. The Republican Speaker has indicated he will attempt to push for approval of tens of billions in wartime funding for Ukraine as well as Israel once the House returns in April. It will be perhaps his most difficult task since he took the Speaker's gavel last year. Hardline conservatives in the House are adamantly opposed to aid for Ukraine. Republican Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene has also threatened the House. Yeah, we just went over all that. But yeah, these people don't want to fund war. We are tired of funding war. That's all we've been doing since the 1940s. We are sick and tired of these endless, constant wars. We need to get out of these. And that's one reason I'm voting for Donald Trump. Because, hey, say what you want about Donald Trump. No new freaking wars, and he was trying to get us out of all these places where all these conflicts are taking place because of us. But it just blows my mind how these people just get behind this movement. You know, you got people putting flags on their Instagram deals or whatever, and people flying Ukrainian flags. Why? Why are you flying a Ukrainian flag? Do you live in Ukraine? Do you even know where Ukraine is on a map? Why do you care about this country so much? This is a very corrupt nation that has allowed the Biden administration to extort millions of dollars from. And we're just like, yeah, let's send them billions of more dollars. We've already funded them with almost $200 billion. Not the United States, that's just in total. Right? The United States has sent $113 billion. Yeah, they and the mainstream news tries to lie and say, oh, it's only been like 78 billion. Sorry. You know, if we weren't in such debt, maybe I wouldn't say as much about it. If we weren't paying, you know, police officers and hospital workers and all this, teachers and all this other crap, maybe I wouldn't say as much. I wouldn't be so adamantly against this. But we're paying the retirement payments for some of these people, for God's sakes, when we have homeless people here in America suffering. We have an invasion on our southern border that they're doing nothing about. When you got the New York mayor is now going to start paying migrants weekly debit cards. They're going to get deposits onto their debit cards. They're staying in luxury hotels. Well, yet you got homeless people all over the place. You got veterans that they're not taking care of. We've got all these freaking problems, and yet everybody seems to be worried about Ukraine. Why don't we clean up our own house first? That's what I would like to see. Clean up our southern border. Try to help some of these homeless people. You know, get some of this monetary funding that we seem to love giving out to everybody to some of our veterans who fought and died, lost limbs for this country, fighting for our freedoms. And yet we want to just throw them to the curb? No, that's BS if you ask me. Every single combat veteran in this country should not have to worry for a damn thing, in my opinion. And yet the government and the mainstream news has all these people so worried about little old Ukraine, little old corrupt Ukraine. I don't get it, y'all. But y'all let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section. That's all I got for this one. This one aggravated the hell out of me because I'm tired of this Ukraine funding. I'm tired of funding these foreign wars, sending money to places so people can be murdered and murder other people over political disputes, over land, over resources. It's all so much BS. It just blows my freaking mind and ticks me off until no end. But y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. That's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching. I really do appreciate it, you guys. And y'all try to have a good day. And don't forget to hit the like button, please. Peace.